I refused to donate my kidney to my dying father. The truth behind my decision left my entire family speechless. 3 months ago, I became the most hated person in my family when I refused to donate a kidney to my father. The whispers started immediately. Ungrateful daughter, selfish, heartless. How could I let my own father die when I was a perfect match? What my family didn't know, Pert, what I had kept secret for 20 years. Pert was that this loving father had terrorized me throughout my childhood while maintaining a perfect public image. My earliest memory is from age 5, being locked in a dark closet for hours because I spilled juice on his favorite chair. By 8, I had learned to move silently through our house, to predict his moods by the sound of his footsteps, to become invisible when his expression changed in that specific way. While my friends feared monsters under their beds, I feared the monster who tucked me in at night. The abuse was calculated, private, and left no visible marks. He was careful, prone to never hitting where it would show, never raising his voice where neighbors might hear. To everyone else, he was charming, respected, the perfect family man who coached Little League and volunteered at church fundraisers. My mother chose not to see when I tried to tell her at 12. She said I was being dramatic. When I showed her the bruises at 14, she suggested I bruised easily. When I begged to live with my grandmother at 16, she said I would break his heart. I left home the day after high school graduation and built a life 2,000 miles away. Holidays only, always in public places. I married, had children, and made sure they were never alone with him. My husband knew pieces of my history, but even he didn't know everything. Then came the phone call. Dad's kidneys were failing. Dialysis wasn't working well. He needed a transplant, and I was the only compatible match in the family. My sister Parn, who had somehow emerged from the same household unscathed, his golden child Part, called me daily. He's our father, she would say. Whatever issues you have isn't letting him die worse. I scheduled the pre-donation testing but canceled 3 times. Finally, my mother flew out to see me sitting at my kitchen table with tears streaming down her face. Please, she begged, save him, be the bigger person. That phrase, parent be the bigger person, parent, was what she had always said when he'd hurt me. Be the bigger person, let it go, keep the peace. I made my decision that night. The next morning I called a family meeting via Zoom, my father propped up in his hospital bed, my mother beside him, my sister and her husband, my aunts and uncles who had been told I was still deciding whether to save my father's life. I have something to say, I began, my voice steadier than I felt. I won't be donating my felt. I won't be donating my kidney, not because I can't, but because I won't. I let them yell until they exhausted themselves. Then I spoke again. When I was 7, Dad broke 3 of my fingers because I got an A in math. When I was 12, he held my head underwater in the bathtub until I passed out because I'd been disrespectful. When I was 15, he pushed me down the stairs, then drove me to the ER and tearfully told the doctors I was such a clumsy girl. The silence was deafening. My father's face remained impassive. Parent not denying anything, just watching me with the same cold calculation I remembered from childhood. I've spent 20 years in therapy because of you, I continued. I have nightmares. I flinch when people raise their hands too quickly. I check the locks on my doors 3 times every night. And now you want a piece of my body? The body you spent years teaching me wasn't even mine to control. My mother had gone pale. My sister was crying. My father just stared. I don't wish you death, I said finally. But I don't owe you life, either. I ended to call and block their numbers. The relief was immediate and overwhelming, Pert, like putting down a weight I'd carried since childhood. 2 weeks later, my sister showed up at my door. I braced for anger, but instead she collapsed into my arms. I didn't know, she sobbed. I swear I didn't know. He never, not to me. That's when I learned the truth. My father had deliberately made her his ally, his perfect child, while making me his target. A common tactic of abusers, pray, divide to conquer, ensure one child will always defend them. My father received a kidney from an anonymous donor last month. My mother has filed for divorce. My sister and I are rebuilding a relationship that was poisoned before it began. Some family members still believe I should have donated, regardless of the past. Family is family, they say. But I've learned that family isn't just blood and obligation. Real family doesn't hurt you systematically for years, then demand your organs when theirs fail. Sometimes the most difficult choices are also the healthiest ones.